Not that kind of show.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Welcome to the Lost Dollar Business Club, where we talk about business, and not just business. We talk about what makes businesses go up and what makes businesses go down. If you're interested in businesses, this is where it is. We talk about the global economy. We talk about global politics. We talk about everything and anything business related that affects your life on a global scale as well as a local scale. And don't miss after the show, Lost and Found.
All right.
Wow, I mean, there's no banter in the beginning anymore. You changed all the clips. Well, we're going to get rid of that crap. So,
nothing has been changed. Nothing.
Yeah, no. You have video intro and outro. That's why.
Well, we have a new background too.
I know.
Oh yeah. I mean, you don't have to use the intro and outro, but
I didn't. I just did live and it did thing. So I have to remove it from the other stuff.
Oh, that's good. If you do live, it just starts. Okay.
We change it up.
No problem. Yeah, we'll change it up. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It's your first show of 2025 for Lost Dollar. Michael's already done a show with Corey.com.
We had Corey Doctor on. That was a good one.
And next week
it was a good show, actually, Michael. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did too. Next week we have this guy standing.
That's right. We got Guy Standing back.
I'm not. It's not my destiny to be on the show with him, I think.
Yeah, well, he's doing a rich person holiday again. Yeah, he's going to Thailand.
That sounds nice.
Yeah,
I wish. If we can fly, because it's all like we're all fogged in. So.
Welcome to Europe.
All right, so Plan B was going to go to the Canary Islands if he can't fly to Egypt tomorrow. But now it's appeared that it's under a big Sierra sandstorm. So happy days. So Dubai or Florida or somewhere warm. So
how about Ohio?
Well, maybe you'll go somewhere from poor to rich, because we've got a show for you about, of course, the Trump inauguration. $170 million being donated to his record-hitting inaugural fund. A lot of corporate money there.
So what's the money going to be used for then? Cheerleaders and flags and
very patriotic things.
Payoffs to porn stars. Things that are important for America. Come on.
Because I did hear that he threw a bit of a wobbly about the flags. He wanted the flags in Washington. Because they're at half-mast, of course.
Because of Jimmy Carter.
Because of Jimmy Carter, yes. And it's supposed to be half-mast for 30 days as a result.
Yeah, but
he wants to risen.
He wants to risen for his inauguration.
Yeah. So that's not happening.
Yeah, that's a little.
Well, apparently it is, but apparently they said, yes, sir, Mr. Trump.
I will tell you that everybody who didn't like Donald Trump in the tech area has basically
including yourself, Stephen,
totally turned around.
Listen, he wrote me a check for $100 million. Is what I told you, my loyalty can be bought. I'm not an idiot. But anyway, Zuckerberg and the rest of these guys that hated him and he was terrible have all written $1 million checks. All the bank presidents, CEOs have all written $1 million checks. They have all written $1 million checks to Donnie as an inauguration because they're all trying to get on his good side. So I think this is going to be a very interesting.
Apart from the CEO from NVIDIA, who still hasn't got his invite.
Yeah, well, because he's Asian, probably. Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, it's because all the condos have been. I mean, I understand that Mr. Musk is living on the campus, so he's about he's living in one of the bungalows at
Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
So he doesn't have far to go for lunch.
I'm betting Trump's charging him though. I don't think it's free. I don't see Donnie letting him stay there for free. I bet he charges him.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't have a house, does he, Mr. Musk? He said that before. He doesn't actually own a house.
He does. He's got a compound about 5 miles away from where I am.
Well, evidently he always says, I don't own a house, so maybe...
Yeah, he owns a massive compound for him and his 13 kids with a this and a that. Oh, yeah, like I talked to the broker, and we were having dinner one night, and he was like, oh, yeah, Musk's house is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, no shit. Yeah, so he's got a huge place. So, Musk he's got a house. Let's not, he doesn't sleep on couches anymore.
Maybe he doesn't own it. Maybe it's some sort of... fiscal.
Well, he doesn't own it. No, everything's in trusts and LLCs. Yeah. It's
What's
fine.
wrong? What's wrong with the compound, though? I mean, what do you think is wrong with the compound?
Nothing.
He doesn't. Well, he doesn't. He
I like
doesn't have any of
compounds.
those. He doesn't have any of those, robot dogs wandering around, does he? He's got a,
I do. I have robot dogs on my compound, and I have turrets with machine guns on them because I don't like people. So it works
Yeah.
out well for me. But
That's
no, I
good
don't
for
think
the
there's anything
coming,
wrong with it.
for the coming apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say for the zombie apocalypse that'll be
Uh-huh.
coming next week. So,
Mhm.
but no, here's something I thought was interesting. There's an article in the FT that talked about diversity hires, ESG, and climate change, and it
Yeah.
said 90% of the companies now are getting rid of all of it. They're getting rid of diversity hires, they're getting rid of ESG, and they're getting rid of their climate change policy because of the incoming king.
And you heard it here. You heard it here first last year. We've done a lot to talk and expose how these policies are maybe not were not actually not only not effective, but were detrimental in a lot of ways,
Yeah. Well,
or fraudulent in the case of ESG.
right. But on the diversity side, and I said this on one of the other shows, I'm on the fence on that. I am very much a give me your CV. If you're qualified, we bring you in for an interview. And if we like you, you hire you. I don't care if you're male or female. I don't care what the color of your skin is.
Right.
If you have a brain, you can do the job. I'm a happy guy.
Right.
Cut and dry. Full stop.
Yeah.
ESG, yeah, that's a bunch of crap. And the climate change also a bunch of crap. I mean, yes, the planet's getting hotter. We're all going to die. The lizard people are coming in. I'm good with that. But just to have a policy on it, yeah. So in that respect, I'm happy. How do I put this? I'm happy that Trump's going to come into office, get rid of the wokeism crap. Maybe we're going to go back to the world where you get down to business and enough about everybody's feelings, because I don't really care about people's feelings, and I'm glad that he doesn't. I want things done. The other thing that was in the FT today was how he basically got a ceasefire in the Middle East with Gaza Strip and Israel. So we'll
Well,
see.
I mean,
Hopefully it
yes.
stays.
Yeah, that's
Of
big
course he
news.
did. Of course he did.
Well, this is like Reagan in the Iranian release of the hostages when he became when Reagan
No, they
became
just
president.
waited.
So,
Netanyahu just waited.
well, no, not that. It's if you read the article, Biden sent weak people, unfortunately, which is the Democrats. They're weak. And Trump sent a New Yorker. So you can watch Vaguely True, what we did yesterday, and we all talked about why New Yorkers should rule the world, which we do. And the New Yorker went in there, and he basically was a New Yorker and got shit done. So
Well,
there's a lot to be said for that.
Well, there's lots of kumbaya, but it still hasn't happened. And the thing is, this 6-week period that we allegedly are going to have, which may start on Saturday.
Right.
After that, the right wingers in Israel have said, well, we'll go back to war after that. It's 6 weeks to get a few hostages out, and then
we can go kill everybody.
Yeah. So
We'll
we'll have to wait and
Well,
see how much Mr. Trump can actually influence what's going on there, because that bag of poo's been open for centuries. So
stop it.
Well, good
what can I
point.
say?
Good point there. But he's actually getting some. It seems like. I mean, even the
No, he's not. I mean, it's the Biden people who
message
started off. They were there in March. This deal that they cut with the Israelis was done in March, and there's a little bit of hurry up now.
Well, it wasn't
Political hurry
Biden's
up.
people that
It's
did this
something
deal.
like all hell's going to break loose if it doesn't.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah,
what does that mean?
he probably bomb him.
Sounds like a
Oh,
threat.
it means. Oh, yeah, I know what it means. It means your dad's bigger than my dad. That's what it means.
That's fine.
So,
But the thing you also have to remember is it wasn't Biden's people; it was Trump's people. Like I said today in the FT, they went through the whole what happened with Biden's people and with Trump's guy, and it was Trump's guy that actually did it. Every time Biden's guys tried to do something, Israel Netanyahu at the last second would change it and go, "Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that." With Trump's guy, Trump was like, "Listen, enough of this BS. It's A, B, C, D through Z. Pick it. You're done." And it was done.
What
And
does
they did it.
all hell make? What? That's just for the.
No, I think I listen. If they
What
thought
does
that,
that
if they
Financial
thought
Times
that,
is pretty legit.
yeah, no. On social media, Trump put if you don't have the hostage released by the time I'm president, all hell will break loose. I think he probably would have bombed them. And I know that Qatar and one of the Egypt was saying, yeah, like speed this up. And they're the ones where they had Hamas in their country and then kicked them out. I've said this before. Trump reminds me of Reagan in his second term. Crazy grandpa has his finger on the button, and the world and the world sees that. So you have an authoritarian government now, and you have, as far as we know, the most powerful military in the world. and if the crazy grandpa says you do this or else, you don't know what he's going to do. And they saw him a few years ago when he was president. And I think a lot of them are like, listen, let's appease him, because if not, there's bigger issues. You have to remember, when we sneeze, the rest of the world gets a cold, right?
Mhm.
So nobody wants us to sneeze for the next 4 years or 8 or 12 or however long, Donnie decides to stay. That's going to be a problem. So, all these countries now are like, okay, what are we going to do? I mean, I think they all realized he was going to win, but now, even in the New York Times today, they were talking about his administration is going to challenge and push Congress and the Senate on things that the president's office usually doesn't do and can't do. So you're going to be in for the Mad Hatter's ride here. This is not going to be a normal 4-year presidency. This is going to be interesting.
Well, it's certainly going to be interesting. And what would normal mean? Because normal has not been good for a lot of people for many administrations.
Right.
For many administrations. I mean, I think that's part of what he was tapping into, isn't it?
Right. Well, he gave the speech and he said, I can make it better. Now, to the topic of today, kind of sort of is like, how do you make poor areas, rich?
The Economist did that video.
Oh, you just want the crap out of them and then start again, it would seem. That's
right. Well, you go to Bel Air and you start a fire and you burn all of Los Angeles down and you build it up into a futuristic city. Yeah. But in a way, it's kind of an interesting thing. The state of California is so stupid. When trucks from Oregon come in, they don't pass a emissions test. They park them in Sacramento. Your city is burning to the ground. And so first of all, to make a poor city rich, you need smart people. And I'm not talking you have to be an MBA from any university. You can be just a smart guy with no high school diploma. You just have to think about how to revitalize your city to get it from A to Z. And I don't think a lot of people do that.
Part of what the Economists proposed was that they said that it's actually bad for rich people if there are all of these poor areas. But do you think the rich really believe that, or are they just going to keep retreating into their own world, which is already happening? Inequality
where are you going to retreat to? Not going to retreat to California anymore, are they?
No, you get a fresh start now. Now it's all virgin territory.
But I suppose stocks in construction companies will go through the roof, and people who supplying everything to build a house. I mean, God knows how long it will take to get to any level of normality again. 5-10 years, maybe.
Yeah, week and a half. It's California with all their regulation. 1,000 years. So to answer your question, rich people, and rich is a relative term. So wealthy people, however you want to look at it.
Next week we'll be talking about the top 10th of 1% with guys standing. That's rich.
Thank God I'm here because we can talk about it. But the point of it is that rich or poor, if you have money and you have to drive through a neighborhood or an overpass through a neighborhood, you still have to go through the neighborhood. And if you have to go through the neighborhood, then in the back of your mind, you're like, don't know, maybe not good. But so there's all these things, right? Nothing is as it seems. So I always have said you should clean up everything and give everybody at least a living playing field, which we don't do. Now, maybe with Mr. Trump, we will. I don't know. This is going to be interesting.
I don't know.
Do you think Trump and the elitists care about the poor in the US? I don't think so.
It has yet to be seen. There's been a lot of talk, though.
Yeah, well,
you have to acknowledge that. I mean, he's not even in office yet. He's not even really in office yet, and his influence is already having an effect on markets and people.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be, of course, if Biden, wasn't. I mean,
that's a big if, though.
We watched endless video reportages of President Biden. He's just a poor. He looked like a very delicate old man these last 6 months, and that so. And we know Americans in particular love winners. They love strong people.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's looking to that strength. But if Biden had been a strong president,
of course things would have been very different. Yeah.
If he would have done good at the debate, and not look like a disheveled, guy who just got out of the nursing home, then that's a different story. But he did. He
Yeah.
looked disheveled and he didn't do it. Trump came out like a
Yeah.
New Yorker, came out, kicked ass, and that's it. And the
Yeah.
problem we have is that, to your point, Americans want a virile, strong leader, male or female, makes no difference. Hillary would have made a great leader for the LGBTQ community. So they want a strong leader.
Well, they definitely don't want a woman. You've proved that time and time again.
That's not really true.
I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that.
We
I don't
haven't
think
had
it's
a
the issue.
we haven't had a
Why?
woman yet that has good policy.
There seems to be this sort of enormous glass, this glass dome in American politics that people just can't get. Women just can't get to those higher levels.
There are more women in Congress than ever before.
Yeah.
So
but it's Congress. It's not the White House, is it?
Yeah, but the problem is that we haven't had a strong woman. Hillary was interesting, but she was not. I don't think really what the comments were that I heard was nobody wanted Bill Clinton for another 4 years. And
she had a lot of that. She had a lot of baggage.
She had a lot of baggage. Nobody want that. Camilla was doing great until after the debate. Then when she started to pick on Trump, if she just kept to her policy statement, she probably could have won. So if a woman's going to win, you need a strong woman that's going to come in with a
clear policies,
whether a strong businesswoman, one with international relations, something, but a strong whatever, whether she's a lesbian or she's just a straight heterosexual, makes no difference. But her husband then is going to have to, or a partner, will have to be squeaky clean. And you're going to need that. You're going to need a woman to come in and kick in the door, and she has to be the C word.
Well, I think squeaky clean. I mean, that's an oxymoron for a start. Now, I mean, there's nobody in American politics that's squeaky clean. I mean, look at
there
Trump.
Certainly is. Well, he's
look at Trump. He's a convicted felon.
That's nothing. Stop it.
Oh, yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Who cares?
That is crazy talk.
Who cares?
No, we don't apparently.
The
founding fathers said you had to be a 35-year-old U.S. citizen to be president. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't be a felon, that says you can't sleep with porn stars, that you can't pay off porn stars, you can't do bad real estate, you can't lie to the Attorney General of New York, doesn't matter. You just have to be a 35-year-old male. So basically, anybody can be president of the United States as long as you were born.
Does it say 35-year-old male?
No, it's 35 years old. I think it said male and they changed it. Yeah. It says 35 years old. Yeah.
It said 35.
It says just 35-year-old citizen of the United States.
Well, one other thing that the Economist brought up in terms of transferring wealth from rich areas to poor areas, it said, look, if you want localities, if you want these tier 2 or tier 3 cities or even rural regions to succeed, you need to get money unrestricted to those localities so that they can decide their fate. And then the Economist was talking about actually some places in the UK, but I think it applies to the United States as well, is that so many strings come attached to every dollar that comes from the state or the feds going to a town or a municipality or a school district that they can't decide their own fate. And so they have to make decisions that are not good for the local area. I mean, what do you think? Is that decentralization of power and money actually
they've been doing that. They've been doing it here in Holland then for the last X number of years with these what they call Phoenix locations. So these are like new buildings, new areas where everybody's going to live, and they've mixed it up. So they have expensive homes, starters, renters, the whole financial scale of people, all in one new area.
Okay. Where does the money come from to build that new area?
That normally comes from project developers who only get a green light if they offer a mix of places to live.
Yeah.
But a starting house now in Holland, the lowest level for a new build is about 400,000 euros.
Okay, well, in America, it's no different. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So, but outside of that ridiculous statement, it hasn't really worked because what's happened is you get these sort of pockets, you know, of inequality. I mean, I'm all for equality. Don't get me wrong, but it would appear that the way that we're still trying to instigate it, certainly as regards to rich and poor people living together, certainly here hasn't really worked, because you get elitist areas and you get areas which is just basically just ghettos, but in more modern houses.
So
Yeah,
so
okay.
the transfer of wealth, if you will, to the areas. Like New York City is a perfect example. You have people that make 100,000 a year living with people that make 100 million a year, and they're fine because that's the way the city was designed, though 100 years ago. Doing it now is very difficult. Um,
Yeah,
and here's a story for you. In Fort Lauderdale, Las Olas Boulevard, that whole area, Las Olas along the intercoastal, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, people bought these little nothing homes, right?
Mhm,
They were worth nothing. And
mhm.
then in like the late 70s, early 80s, rich people were like, I want to live on the water. And
Right.
what they would do is they'd come over and they'd go, how much do you want for your house? Now, these people had no clue, right? Like, go 25, 30 grand. They're like, okay. And they literally buy a block of houses.
Right. Right.
So now these people got, like I got 25 grand, I'm going to go move somewhere else. Then the rich people, if you will, were building mega mansions. So now when
Yep.
you go down, if you will, Las Olas and all the intercoastals, there's all these mega mansions, and there's still a couple houses from like the 50s. And like they'll go, that house is worth like $10 million. No, the land is worth 10 million. The house is
Yeah.
worth
Yeah.
nothing. Some people didn't sell out. So there is an issue when the rich move into a neighborhood. They're not doing it. And for the people that are gay, don't send cards and letters because I don't give a shit. But when the gays move into a neighborhood and gentrify it, like they did in Brooklyn, right?
Mhm.
When the gays first moved into Brooklyn you didn't want to live in. Now everybody wants to live in Brooklyn. Why? Because when the gays come in, they notice that they could buy a cheap townhome, fix it up, and then be 1, 2, 3, and before you know it, then families moved in, and this one moves
Well,
in.
is
Right.
it?
So it's a little different.
It's.
When
I
a
mean,
wealthy
is
moves
it
in, it's
naive?
different.
Is it naive then to think that a community-minded gentrification is the way to go, versus just plowing down, as you mentioned in that story, just plowing down the old homes and just building mega mansions? I mean, does anybody have a community-minded bone in their body still?
Yeah, there's certain cities that do mixed use, and they'll do mixed use with like nice apartments and then condos and homes and shopping centers, and they'll do a mixed use community, but they've planned it. And there's a couple
Yeah,
developers that I know that when they do a community, they do a mixed use community, which is
sure.
great. The problem is that a lot of this isn't like here. Take Texas for example. The areas that and there's no pre-plan. We were talking about this yesterday. Coming back from the airport, we're like, oh look,
There's no
there's
plan.
whatchamacallit. There's some buildings they're going to put up there. There's a gas station. Oh look, they're going to build some homes over here. I don't know what the hell they're building over here. And it's just like they just woke up one day and they're like, let's just build
So
because
the
people
key
are
is
coming.
yeah,
the
but that
key
may
is
be
to have a vision.
Sorry, that may be the luxury of having all that land to do it.
No,
It's
it's
all
not
No,
that's all a
luxury at
bit
all.
it's all a
No,
bit willy nilly, surely now.
no. 20 years from now, it's shit. So in Florida, Palm Beach, where I am, in Palm Beach, they're very systematic on what they do, how they do it.
well, that's maybe the difference
Right.
then. You know,
And
areas to go from poor to rich, they need to have a very clear plan
right.
for what they
And
what they want to see in 10, 20, 30 years.
and you have to have forethought. And a lot of
Yeah.
cities
You
now
don't.
they
You
woke
don't.
up, they have forethought. The problem is a lot of these cities don't have forethought. So when a developer, I come in and I'm going to buy 20,000 acres and it's all mixed use crap. And I give them my plans, and I'm a city. I'm like, oh, we're going to make money in taxes and yada, yada, yada. And you don't have anybody with a brain that sits on your council. Then all of
Right.
a sudden, I'm going to be like, listen, I'm going to put up some shit apartments over here. I'm going to put up real expensive houses over here. And the city's like, oh, this is great. This is great. At the end of the day, in 10 years, you're like, this is a shithole
Yeah.
because no one has the forethought to plan. There's certain cities that look at it and go, oh, no, this is where we're going to build
True
apartments. This is
comp
where we're going to build.
plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not a lot. There's not now. They are because they're realizing in Texas. I don't think they do. Dallas does, from what I can tell. Um, Dallas gives thought to what they build and how they build. There's other ones that don't give thought in the United States. In New
Yeah.
Yeah.
York City, perfect example to an extent. I mean, it's all been built up the last whatever, but all the little islands and boroughs and pockets, they kind of give thought to what they're going to put. They realize they've got all these people on the little island there. They got to kind of do something. A lot of these places, the land is great, but if you don't think about it, it's still shit.
Well, let me
but like I say, they've tried it here and it hasn't.
You're saying the planning hasn't worked in Holland anyway.
Well, I think the jury's still out on that. That's the thing, because it was done out of all good intent to put all people of but like all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. So that's
right.
That's how it works out.
Pittsburgh did one other thing that was maybe interesting in the video. They said they would invest in innovative kinds of education, like robotics and new technologies for their young people, and that seems to be jumpstarting a community of technology in Pittsburgh, at least. This was a year ago. Interesting to see.
None of those kids will be able to do that now because they'll all have withdrawal symptoms from TikTok. So that's all finished.
We'll talk about TikTok and Lost and
we
Found.
We should talk about TikTok.
Well, I have it down for the Lost and Found and for when we do the Lost and Found summit. Hey, really quick before we continue, for the people that are watching or the people that aren't watching, let's run some commercials and pay some bills.
All right. Get the freedom and the flexibility of remote work in the lucrative tech industry. Bend your life around the world. Bandicoot is the premier course and community for thriving in a remote tech career. Join the revolution today. Bandicoot.com, official partner of the Lost Dollar Business Club.
And we have one more commercial.
We got one more, yeah. We got one more.
We have a sponsor, HBN. They're our sponsor, and we're going to run their little commercial that they asked us to make so they could be on our channel, and we're going to do it. And I've tried their product. It works. And I use it for something totally different than what it was made for, but for me it worked. And then there you go. So they'll run this commercial, and then we'll come back and talk about the rich to poor areas and why David hates Donald Trump. So with the new HBN 3-outlet sensing countdown timer with remote control, you can set your whole house up to look like Christmas 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The timer comes with a 2, 4, 6, and 8-hour countdown function. The outlets can be easily operated by hand or by a remote control with a dusk to dawn on and off switch. And they come with 3, 2, and 1 outlet accessories. We use them here at 2OF Entertainment. There you go. There's our sponsor.
Christmas all year round. Yes.
Hey,
get those Christmas lights.
I just thought it was cool. I was like trying to think, what can I say? It's granted, you plug in your light, right? Clicky, clicky. Like lights on, like people do. I thought it was like Christmas all year round. So yeah, we have them all over. I have them all over the house now. So I'm having a field day with them. So yeah, I'm like a little kid in a candy store. So there you go. Anyway,
this is an absolute world exclusive. Stephen,
yes,
from the land where he originates, is now officially celebrating Christmas.
Okay. We allow that? He's allowing that?
No.
Yeah, well, I
say something to the masses. I can't say Hanukkah because we like candles. We don't need that thing.
Right.
I'm a Jew. We like candles. We don't have a tree.
Candles.
What we did to celebrate Christmas.
But if you did have a tree,
then I would use the thing. But we didn't celebrate. We did celebrate Christmas. We burned LA. Anyway, so now let's talk about
the
LA
aliens
for a second.
did that. Thought the aliens were doing that.
So what's going to happen now? Now. Here's a perfect thing. I could, if I was a developer, and I'm assuming a lot of people are going to sell their land or whatever. If you're a developer and people are like, listen, you can, like, the whole neighborhood gets together and goes, screw it, we're not going to rebuild, just buy. If you come in there, you could actually really build now LA up to be something. Not that
you think the Pacific Palisades are not something? You think the Pacific Palisades are not something?
I mean, would it not be advantageous to actually consider to build houses with bricks and not build them from wood? Because
that requires thought, David. And I will tell you, over the last few years, everybody builds with wood. When I look at homes, And I'm like, what do you build it at? And they're all like, well, we use this. I'm like, and I say, can I come from New York, right? My houses were all brick made out of cement.
Right,
Like
right.
if there's a
Yeah.
fire, the inside of the house maybe burns, and then you can gut it and go do whatever. These wood houses, I'm like,
Yeah.
a strong wind can knock them down.
Well, that's the same
You
with the
know,
hurricanes.
Yeah.
When we see this in Europe, and we see these hurricane disaster things from the US,
Yeah.
people say, "How could it all be like that?" And I said, "Well, look, it's all wood."
it's all crap.
So there's probably an economic reason why, but why
Yeah,
there's
because
no
here's why. Let me tell you why. If I build a house out of brick, one, I have to get somebody, a brick mason that knows how to do that. That's probably going to cost me $50 to $100 an hour for him to do brick mason. Two, I have to buy brick. And three, I
Yeah.
have to buy cement. And four, I need people with IQ points that know how to actually build a home. If I build it out of the crappy wood shit they build it at, I can get a bunch of idiots that don't know shit. And I can get them to throw up a house in a day. And I say that tongue in cheek, but when I lived in Sedona, Arizona, I was renting a house behind Thunder Mountain, which is where they got the choo-choo train from Disney. And the lot next door, I came home one afternoon and there was a slab. I'm like, oh, apparently they're going to build. I can't wait to see how they're going to build in this neighborhood, right?
Right.
Exclusive neighborhood. They I literally had a frame of a house up the next day. Then the day after that, the walls. And I literally started on a Monday, and by Friday it was done. The outside included the crappy little roof, all wood. Nothing, like literally you could have walked over there with a cigar, threw the cigar at it, and it would have just burnt. Houses, and I'm sure to build that house cost 50 grand. I'm being polite, but they sell it for 3 million. So that's why they don't build them out of brick, David, because they can't make profit. They don't, once again, we've become a society of money, 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 me. Don't give a shit about you. And that's from the builders. That's from the way that people do the electrician stuff in your house, the air conditioning companies, everybody does a shit job. And that's because nobody holds them to a quality of standard. A friend of mine is building a house, and I said, you're going to have it built out of brick? And he was like, you know how hard it is to find someone to build a house out of brick?
Yeah, that's the problem.
It was like, I'm like importing people to build my house. And I'm like, that's pathetic. Back in the day, they built houses brick like this.
Yeah, but that's a bigger problem. That's a bigger economic problem for the country, which is people aren't building anything.
Yeah, that's right.
No one's building anything.
I'm sure there's lots of people who are not born in America who would love to come and lay all those bricks for you.
Or just lay. Yeah. So,
but I mean, a lot of the houses here these days are prefabricated.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly in Holland, they prefabricate it so it goes up really quick, and they put a brick skin around the outside to make it look pretty.
But the prefab home, there's a guy in Los Angeles that makes prefab homes, because I looked at his home for something, and I asked him, tell me about fire. And they use material that's fire retardant, not retardant, but retardant. And I would rather have him do a prefab, which you can design up to 10,000 square feet and blah, blah. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. Looks like a spaceship or whatever inside. It's gorgeous. But it's fire retardant. Like he said, you could throw like a Molotov cocktail. It's not going anywhere. The problem is you build these crappy wood homes, you pee on the wood home, and all of a sudden it's up in flames. So no, you have to, America needs to get back. You know, to Trump's point, you need to make America great again. We need to have people that know how to build homes, not shit boxes.
Well, how to build them.
Right. You need people to know how to get back to what America was in the 40s, 50s, 60s, when we actually took pride in what we did. Let's just throw it up. It's crap. Have a nice day.
Looking for
what about you, Michael? What are they? Because you're in the north, aren't you? So are they all wooden up there as well?
What's that?
Is your home wooden?
Oh yeah, my home's an 1864 wooden home, but the wood that they used then was actually really good. Yeah. Because it's actually a stronger wood than the garbage that they use now.
So that's because they cut the tree down on the property. So
that's right. That's right.
They didn't make wood out of sawdust.
That's exactly what's happening now. Is
Michael's house isn't gonna Michael's house isn't gonna burn if there's a fire. Michael could put it out. The wood's gonna go, get away from me, you pathetic.
Right.
Yeah. It's a difference between the wood. The wood today is so flammable.
It's so
It's
flammable
crazy.
because it's fake wood. It's put
Yeah, it's
together.
not even real
Not
wood.
even-
Oh,
Yeah.
fake wood. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's only they
Fake
use that
wood.
in porn.
That's
They use
and
that in
on
porn
that
movies.
note,
They use that in porn movies as well. But thank you. We're here till Thursday. Tip your wait staff. Tell your
Fake
friends.
wood.
Yeah.
Fake wood.
Anyway, I think it's a problem. Whether the rich people are going to help, I don't want to say gentrify or help poor areas get up to snuff, or Mr. Trump and his cabinet will do that. It'll be
we'll
interesting
have
to
to
see.
see. Yeah.
Or it's going to be the movie like Escape from New York, I guess. It's going to be every man for himself.
Yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope
Well,
not.
I think this is an opportunity to see, what Americans can do. If half of Los
Yeah.
Angeles has been burned away, let's see.
Yeah, nobody cares about
Well,
Los Angeles. I hate to tell you this.
I
Nobody
just want
cares.
to point out the similarities to all the failures that led to Lahaina's burning, in Hawaii.
Right.
Similarities to the burning that happened in Los Angeles. Not having enough water, not having preparedness, not having the trucks. There's a lot of human errors that led to catastrophe.
Yeah, not letting. Well, Hawaii can't let trucks from Oregon come in because it's a long drive. But California having the Oregon fire trucks sit in Sacramento because they can't pass the emissions test, I thought was hysterical.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah, but
seriously.
that's not true, is it? That's not true. I think
You know what? Here's the problem. Someone sent to me as a TikTok video, looked like a newscast, and then I saw a news article on it. So I'm not sure if it is,
Hard
but
to
knowing
know.
how.
It's hard to know.
No, I was reading a piece about that on the.
Okay, but if it is
and,
true, it wouldn't shock me.
No,
because
I
it's
wouldn't shock me either.
California.
But I think it's part of this, this misconception.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff. I mean, I was reading. Somebody posted this crap about it was a promo for Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't
so
think
that the games company had burnt down part of Los Angeles because that's how the Grand Theft Auto 5 game finished. So it's like, look what's going to happen. Look what's happened.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure that.
All of this, I mean, complete and absolute bollocks. But there's just people out there who just love it. I've seen the other stuff. Laser beams coming out. It's the aliens setting them all on fire.
Well, that's true.
The
aliens
the other thing, which made me sort of was slightly disturbing, but I did have to chuckle, was the reason why the Los Angeles Fire Department couldn't put out the fire is because they were all gay.
Okay.
So you need real firemen, not gay or lesbian firemen. So
I think
that's the reason why they couldn't put out the fire.
They were talking about that comment that one of the fire chiefs said, if you need to be carried out of the fire by a woman, and there was an actual video of this, then you're in a bigger trouble than I can help you with. So that's
I think if there's somebody standing outside your burning
house, she was fired though, wasn't she? Fired like later. One of the chiefs was fired. I don't know, for making a comment about either no water or that comment. I know one of them got fired. Listen, here's how I look at it. If you're a firefighter, and I mean this with all due respect, God bless you. Because that's a job I would not want to do.
Yes.
Running into
and
a burning building.
Inside your house and somebody runs in, you're not going to say, "Oh, by the way,
right,
male or female." If you're gay, you can't take me away. No,
that's right. That's right.
Say,
But I'm just saying, if you're a firefighter, whether you're male or female, I could give a crap about your sexual preference past that, and you're saving a life. God bless you. That's it. I mean, like, full stop. I don't care if you're gay, you're straight, you're blue, you're black, you're green, you're what. I don't care. I give them a lot of credit, and all the people that are fighting the fire out there. So
yes, exactly.
So, I give them a lot of credit for that. So I just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, try to put out some more fires.
Try to put out more
keep doing
fires.
what you're doing. Yeah. But that's it. So who knows?
We got lost and found. I think.
Let's go.
Ever wonder how millions vanish into thin air, or how a single dollar can make all the difference? Join us on Lost and Found, where we dive into the wild world of financial mysteries. From misplaced fortunes to unexpected windfalls, we unravel the stories of people, companies, organizations, and even governments who've lost and found millions. Lost and Found, because every dollar has a story.
I love the guy that's counting the money in that promo.
He looks well.
Is-
I picked him because he looked like he could have been one. He could have been a brother to you, Stephen. So
Yeah, I know. I figured as much. Every time I see it, I just chuckle. I'm like, I know that guy. It's Uncle Fester. All right, Michael.
All
Since we
right.
didn't get to do Lost and Found last week, what do you got this week?
Okay. So we've got, so Apple, introduced Apple Intelligence, right? They wanted to take AI and call it Apple Intelligence, and apparently
Really
it's so good that it produces false headlines. Louis Mangione shot himself. Netanyahu arrested. These are real summaries that Apple's AI put together and about news articles, and it was actually saying that on the phone, summarizing it on the phone. They actually had to turn this feature off because it was so bad at accurately summarizing news reports. So Apple Intelligence is not intelligent at this point.
ever since Steve Jobs died, that company's just gone to shit. So that's all I can say.
That's a loss. That's a loss.
That's definitely a loss. Stevie, I wish you were here. I wish you were. And Wozniak should just come back. He should just run it.
Bring the Woz back. Bring the Woz.
Because Timmy, I like you, but if you're letting that go out, we have to take you out like a horse behind a barn, and we have to shoot you. Sorry. I'm saying that metaphorically, people. We're not going to go shoot him. We don't do that. Well, not in this country. Anyway, the other thing I thought was interesting on Lost and Found is I read an article in the New York Times this morning, or the Wall Street Journal, I forgot, but Donald Trump, you remember him, maybe president soon, is thinking about signing an executive order to make sure that TikTok, when it does not get banned in the United States, because he wants Elon Musk to broker a deal. So that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be buying it.
Yeah, Musk wants to buy TikTok. That's all we need. We need the guy who owns X. Puts up.
Yeah, well, he was so grateful, wasn't he? That's what he said. I'm so grateful to the TikTok people that they all voted for me. So I got a bit of a soft spot for.
So the backdoor deal here is, hey, I'm gonna not get you banned. Elon's gonna buy you for. They say it's worth $17 billion for $17 billion, and everything will be good. And I'm sure TikTok's going, hey, 17 billion is 17 billion. Why not? The bad part is that Elon's being sued by the SEC over his buying of Twitter stock. So we'll see how that one plays out. But I'm sure that is going to go away on January 21st. So it won't matter.
Yeah. Well, he'll just shuffle across the old compound and go and have breakfast with Donnie and say, look, come on,
Come on.
Don't like my eggs. I don't like my eggs this scrambled. So,
I don't know if he goes, come on. I think he just dances. Don't
come
they dance?
on, yeah.
Oh my God.
All right.
What David, all the day?
Don't give up your day job.
Well, I thought, that's my Trump impression. I mean, he's doing all of this. We're all doing it now. Anybody
We're all doing the dance now.
Yeah. Anybody that's of any age is doing that. Seriously, down with the kids.
We're down with the kids. Wow.
We're down with the
David,
kids.
you can tell David's getting ready to go on holiday. All right, David, what's your lost and found today? This will be great. Some cow jumping over.
Thank you. Well, just before I show it, we're not sponsored by it, but it would have saved me a lot of extra trips. Let's just put it this way. Thought this is a lovely little product, Lost and Found. We'll have a screen up on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We'll bring the screen up. It's added to the stage.
It's a robot litter box. This company is just valuing itself at $1 billion. It's now going to another advancement.
It's got 1 million customers already.
Yeah, and this thing, what it does is it's an automatic pooper scooper. So it disposes of the poo and puts a new litter into it. Of course, all the litters, all the cat litter is probably only available from this particular company because, hey, you're going to make money somehow. And you can see exactly what your cat's done via the app. Not that the cat's on the app, but the litter boxes. And so you can see how much the poo weighs and how often the cat goes, etc., etc. And evidently, the millennials have gone absolutely crazy about it.
Wow!
And like I say, this is worth this company.
They don't have to scoop it anymore.
That's right. That's
crazy
right.
millennials. Oh my
God!
God!
So it's incredible what sort of money they're going to be asking for this company. This is one of many products that they produce, but this is the one that somebody said to me, "Have you seen that? Wouldn't that be nice? You wouldn't have to, because all the poo falls into a tray. Pull the tray out. You still got to dump the tray." But
Right.
well, that's
you know,
okay.
But at least
but it's
play with an electronic toy, so that's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
next time we'll get a robot to do it for us.
Well, I
There
saw
you
that
go.
I did actually. I was toying with the idea of showing you all the electronic dirty sock robot that can smell these socks and take out the dirty ones from the linen. So probably an advancement on that would be some form of robot then for all the millennials to come along and to take away all the cat poo.
Wow.
There you
That's-
go. There you go.
And
That's
that
almost
definitely
fascinating.
is for them is an absolute winner.
Okay, and just
That's
to
a
let you
win.
know, this just in from the Financial Times, breaking news on my phone. Donald Trump held his first phone call with President Xi since leaving the office, White House in the 2021
Yeah.
before he
You-
takes
Wow.
whatchamacallit. He's
You
just,
know
I'm
why?
sure that was the first one. I don't know if that was the
this
first.
I
is
banned
the
him.
Financial Times says if Financial Times says it's the first call since he left the White House. Him and the
Yeah.
panda are talking.
Yeah.
So now China, start getting your Mandarin ready because, like I told you, there are going to be no tariffs. Chinese companies start writing billion-dollar checks. BYD will be next to the Tesla plant here any day.
Oh,
Thank
boy.
God. We can get good electric cars finally made. And there you go. So that's it. And next week,
Well,
everybody,
You got to
live,
join us next week for Guy
Guy
Standing.
Standing. And I think we're discussing the book that they sent me.
Yeah, we are discussing the book.
This is a very nice book. I'm enjoying. I will tell you, I'm enjoying it tremendously. A lot of history in there, which I like.
Oh.
It's basically talking about living at the beach and sitting in a chair. So it's a good book. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a life. Yeah.
So what a life.
Well,
What a life. Anyway,
I should be
David,
thinking about it next week while I'm sitting in a chair by the pool.
well, you'll be at the nursing home in a chair. There's a difference. So anyway, John's still on holiday for those of you that care. That nobody
Yeah.
really does. He's still in Argentina hunting Nazi gold. He'll be back sometime in February. And we have, what are the guests coming up? Do we have Guy Standing? We have anybody else coming up?
We have Morris Pearl from the Patriotic Millionaires on February 7th.
Yeah.
February 7th.
Okay.
So the Patriotic Millionaires, check them out, look them up.
Have you seen our show? That'll be a fun show. I've read their stuff. It's very interesting. So I'm thinking that'll be a fun show. It's going to go either one or two ways. So it'll
Well,
be interesting.
congratulations, Michael. We're having some great guests that are coming on, and I hope anybody who's listening to the show who wants to come on and
Let us
share their
know.
wisdom with us,
Yeah.
drop us a line, and
Or
we'll
just
we'll make a seat available at the club for you.
At the
my
club.
God.
Lost
Boys
Olive
and girls, don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for watching. If you watched live, if you're listening to this on Saturday, happy Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you all next Friday live again with Guy Standing. Cheers, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you guys later.
Bye.